When Divi 5 was released, I was super excited, but that excitement was short-lived because I realized that the way I used to design websites in Divi 4 was going to change forever. Now in Divi 4, we didn't have all these features like variables. We did have presets, but the presets were not as extensive as they are today. So in other page builders, they were using CSS classes. So Divi does not use CSS classes. And I did create a product called SiteKrafter that implemented CSS classes to make the building of websites much easier. But when the presets was improved, this is where things changed. I also upgraded the product to Crafter. So the reason why a design workflow needs to be in place when you design websites with Divi 5 is if you design the way you designed in Divi 4, you're going to waste a lot of time. Now, I want to give you a few examples of how that would be. Now, if we were going to go in and just say, for example, add some text here. Now, before we used to come over here to design, and then we would go into the text. And if we wanted to add the size, this is where it would come. But you see, the challenge we had was we had pixels with M's, rems, and so on. It's very difficult for a beginner to know what value to use. So some would say, okay, let's go with 1 rem, right? And yes, that could work. Some would say, no, let's use VW. And up till today, I have no idea sometimes when to use M's, percentage, pixels, calc. In fact, pixels should never be used, okay? Because they stay static across all screen sizes. So when I realized this, I started looking at the features that Divi had. And I noticed that over here with the variables, I could literally define my values here and then apply them over here. For example, over here, I have all my values, right? Every single value you can think of that I need to use is over here. So to make things easier for me, and to make it easier for me to remember what I'm using, all I have to do is to come over here like that, and then I choose the value. So for example, now, as you can see, there's a very long list here. So I could just type in text, and I can see here I have body text, I have body text large, so body text small, extra small. So let's say I want to use body text, I can just do that. And that now has given me a value of clamp, which means anything that I do in here does not need to be adjusted on a smaller screen. You can see here it's gone slightly smaller, and now it's gone slightly smaller as well on the mobile device. So this in itself is a much better workflow. And if you design this way, you are going to design your website super fast. Same applies with, let's say, for example, headings. I can just go in here and then choose my heading. So again, instead of coming here and then going into my heading text and selecting my size manually here, I can go in and then I can say display. Okay, or I can even go for H1. Boom. And now that's my heading 1. Again, if I were to move to a different screen size, you can see it's gone a bit smaller. It's a bit smaller. You see that? So this is really powerful. Now, you can take this a step further. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this. And let's again go in and add our heading. Now, using our presets, I can easily come over here to design, and then over here on the heading now, instead of putting a value manually over here, this is where now the design system comes in. All I need to do is to click here on Assign Presets, bang, done. If I need to add text, I can just come over here, search for my text like that. I come over here to design, I go to text, and then I can choose extra small, small, body text, or body large. I want to go with body text. Bang. Done. Do you see that? It's very easy. So let's say perhaps I want to add let's add 3 items here, and I want to add a grid. I can just select my row settings here. I go to content. I go into my column, and then over here on the top, auto grid. Bang. And now I have my auto grid working. And if I go now to my tablet view, you can see everything here just works great. This literally saves you a lot of time. Now, I've been designing this design system from the ground up for close to 3 weeks now. maybe even over 3 weeks, to make sure that it's easier for us to just go in and just choose the values we need. I mean, look at this. If I go in here into my section, I can choose my section size. Let's say I want this to be a large section. Bang. Just like that. My padding there has been selected. And if I were to come here, you can see everything. It reduces in size and everything looks great out of the box. So this in itself is precise editing in Divi 5. If you give this project to teammates, they will be able to pick up from where you left because we are using presets throughout. So the question is, what is the offer? Because we have 1 day to go before we launch Krafter. 1 day to go. And by the way, before I talk about that, I also want to show you even the colors. I can just literally come in here and say, okay, you know what? I want a background muted. Bang. Just like that. I have my background color added. For this one here, perhaps I want to add a different color. Let's say I want this inverse. Okay, this is your dark version. Okay, now I can go in here, select my text module. If I want to design this further, I can come over here to design, and perhaps I want to add some spacing around this. I can go in and say small. Bang. Right. The next thing I need to do is to add a background color to my text. I can come over here. In fact, I can go to my text. Let's check if I have my background selected. Well, I don't. I can select my background here. And then with my text open, I can scroll down, head over to background, and then I can choose my inverse subtle. You see that? And what I can also do here is, while I'm here, I can go in, activate spacing. And with my spacing activated, I can come over here and then I can choose medium, for example. Now, do you see that by knowing my colors here, this is inverse subtle and this is inverse, I can create a dark version of my design easily. Okay, so I'm going to go in here. Let's get rid of the spacing here. Oops. Let's put it back in medium. Okay, so what I can do now to the text is I can go in. So here's our text color. I can actually search, or I can just choose inverse. Okay, text inverse, bang. And now I have my text. Now, if you don't like that color, you can always come over here. You have all your grayscales. I can choose something that's a bit more subtle, and my design is coming to shape. This alone is going to save you a lot of time. It's very, very powerful, and you're going to enjoy designing websites with Divi 5. So I mentioned that we are a day away from launching. Now, Krafter is going to launch, and I have a 30% off offer in 2 days. This is only active in 2 days. This complete system is going to go for $47. But I have some bonuses, because I realized that if I give you a design system without knowing how it works, it is going to be even more difficult for you. So I'm offering some bonuses here, and one of these bonus is the complete Divi 5 workflow course. Now, this workflow course is very powerful because, I mean, it costs $67. It shows you, especially if you're a beginner, the process that you need to go through when you design your websites with Divi. And this in itself is you now with a complete package of knowledge that you need to design websites. You're also going to have a Krafter community where you get to ask questions, and this is where you can also get support. You also get future design system updates. And by the way, this $47 is lifetime. After the launch, this is going to be subscription. It's going to be a yearly price because I'll be updating it. And if something breaks, I'll be going in, I'll be providing support. As I mentioned, you're going to have a dedicated community, and you'll also have future design system updates. So there's a lot I'm giving here for only $67. And I believe that this is the key to designing websites with Divi in a really, really cool way. If you were to design it manually, you're going to get Divi very, very frustrating and very confusing. And this just takes all of that off. So the offer, once again, you're going to have a complete Divi 5 workflow course which is worth $67. You're also going to be part of the community, dedicated community for anyone that uses this design system. You're also going to get a style guide template, and you're also going to be getting this future design updates with no extra cost. And as I mentioned, this $47 is a lifetime offer. You're not going to be on a subscription, but after the 2 days, $67 will be $67 per year. And you know what? This is great value in my opinion, because by applying this in your design workflow, you're going to be designing websites with Divi super fast, and I'll be sharing all these templates and layouts based on this design system. Now, for those of you who are lifetime members, and these are the benefits of becoming a lifetime member. There's a product that I've been working on behind the scenes quietly, and I'm sure you're going to be pleased with this. This product is called Pro Modules. So here we are. These are modules, okay, built with the base of the design system. So you can see here, I've actually put together quite a few. And in a moment, I'm going to show you how this actually works. I mean, all these, look at these cards. Beautiful. Divi gives us blurbs, but not as stylized as this. All right, look at this. All these layouts, right? So the question is, how do these work, right? So let me show you. So let's say you want to design a, a hero area. I'm going to say add from library. Now, do you see all these? They're all designed for me. Okay. So I'm going to go with the hero call to action 3. Select that. Use this module. And look at that. My module has been added. All I have to do now is to go in and I can add my padding. So I'm going to say section large and I'm good to go. Let's move on to the next section. Click here on this plus button. And here I can say, I want some cards, right? So I'm going to say add from library. And I'm going to search for my card. So you're going to be able to drill down and search these. Hopefully, we're going to have an update where Divi is going to give us a screenshot of what it looks like. That would be really, really awesome. Anyway, I am going to go with card 3 as my design. I'm going to say use this module. Okay, so this is our card 3. I'm going to duplicate this a few times. And then I'm going to come over here to my row settings, go into my column, and then I'm going to activate auto grid. Oops, have I done it the right way? Okay, let me just go back in here, go into the column. Let's do it one more time. I think I clicked the wrong item here. So let's go in and add a single column, add from library. And it was card 3 that I need to select. There we go. So that's my card right here. So what I need to do, which I made a mistake, I duplicated the image, okay, instead of duplicating the actual group. So I'm going to say 1, 2, okay. Now, if I go to my column, you're going to see the 3 cards here, and then I can just do my auto grid here. Okay. So now I have my auto grid and it looks beautiful. All I have to do now is to go in and change the images. So I'm going to come over here, choose this one, upload image. And if I need to, I can go in and adjust. Let's go to the framing. You can see there, I can adjust and make it centered. Let's do this to the other one. I'm going to go in content image, and then I'm going to choose this one here, upload image. And with that, I can also go to the design and let's reframe this. Look at that. So in a very short time, I was able to go in and quickly, just put this layout so super fast. So now I can add a background color to this. So let's just go in and add a muted color. And I'm also going to add my padding. Let's set this to large. And just like that, I have my layout. Now you may be thinking, well, Mac, is this really ready for production? And the answer is yes. Look at that. That's my tablet view. My grid has automatically worked. The text has shrunk a little bit based on the screen size. Boom, look at that. Everything is precise. You don't need to do much. So this is a product that I'm working on. It has all these different layers to it, different types of cards. We have different types of contents. We also have these statuses. We have our countdown timer, but this time this one here has a call to action button, unlike the Divi one. Here we have our section titles, our buttons. Here we have our side-by-side buttons by default. So I'll be launching this once I have at least 50, right? At least 50 super modules. So these modules here are going to be free for lifetime members, And I'm super excited about this because just from this demo, I'm sure you can see how easy it is and how fast it is. You can go in and start designing. I mean, I'm super excited about what's upcoming for Divi 5 and the Divi University products. And I know it has taken quite a while to get to this stage, but I'm super excited that at least we have something tangible that we can all start using very, very soon. And after this stage, I'll be designing ready-made websites. I'll be designing layouts. I'll be sharing a lot of layouts and all that good stuff. But this stage had to be done first. So if you are not a Krafter Pro user or you're not a lifetime member, this is your opportunity. Go ahead and get this product. It's only $47. And once you get this, this is your lifetime. You don't have to pay any extra after this. And then pretty much we're good to go. It's going to come with a lot of training as well. I'll be doing a mini course about how to use this and how to get up and running super fast. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for your support. Really appreciate it. I can't wait for the main launch and start working with the new design system. Take care.